Hey guys, how we doing? Second photo bin for you on a Sunday here. Very cold and rainy Sunday here in the Syracuse area. 44 degrees outside right now. I'm kind of glad I'm not at a racetrack today, but we're home for a little bit here. We could use a little help, by the way. Hit the PayPal. Gas is expensive. We're trying to get out a couple times this week. We could use your help. So let's go back to 2006. This was Super Dirt Week on the Sunday as we got ready to go. Now, remember earlier I showed you some pictures from the tech inspection on that day. This is the Sunday, so this is when everything is actually happening. There's Tim Pizza getting ready to have some fun down on the stage. Great at that. A lot better than I was, so that's why I didn't have a problem when they moved me up into the booth later on. Pro Stocks, of course, were always a big part of the show on Sundays at Super Dirt Week at the Mile, and they always put on some great shows. Got a chance to go around on pit road, and this was one of the things I really liked. While that Pro Stock race was getting ready, you always had time to kind of run up and down pit road and get some photos of some of the different cars, photos of the teams, and as you can see on this day, there's Jack Johnson's team, as a matter of fact, as they're getting ready on what looks like, I'm seeing short sleeves. This is a beautiful Sunday here in Syracuse for Super Dirt Week. There is Ronnie Johnson, Alan Johnson's familiar 14J right there. Billy Decker looks just like the car we saw in the earlier photo bin that I put up from the Parts Peddler show that day. There's Bobby Varin right there. Danny Johnson, he ends up having a pretty good day. You'll see some photos of him a little bit later on as well. The USA 1, a familiar car there, and an iconic car at Super Dirt Week. Frank Cozy's number 44. There, of course, is Brett Hearn. Congratulations to Brett, by the way, on the big win at Charlotte this year. I thought that was interesting. You got a teenager and maybe one of the most heralded veterans in the sport all winning. Surprise wins there, but great showing by everyone down there. Hope everything's going well for you. Now, I think this is Ron Smoker here. I'm not 100% sure because I got another photo later with Tommy Sears. I'm pretty sure that was still Ron Smoker at that point. If you know, let me know. And share this stuff, guys. Chad Brockman won a championship this year, so congratulations to him on another great season, as he was always a big supporter of Super Dirt Week. And man, we just missed the mile so much when you get down to it. And days like this, when we had those beautiful Sundays, just reminded us how much that we do miss what we had in Syracuse with all these cars, all these people on this property. Everybody knew where everybody was camped. It was quite the deal at Syracuse, and we miss it horribly. And hopefully someday, I don't know, we'll get that allure back. It was a tough year at Super Dirt Week this year, but boy, the people, they tried really hard. See, there's Tommy Sears' car, so that's why I'm thinking the other one was actually Ronnie Smoker. Rick Laubach right there, only guy I know that has a whole bunch of nicknames. Steve Hulsizer, we miss you, man. We hope you're all right up in heaven and doing well. And man, he talk about a guy who worked his way up the hard way. I wonder if you know who drives that 1Z. I think you might know from the name, but you're going to see the driver here right now, as it was Jessica Zemkin back then, still pretty early in her career as she was moving her way up. Tim Fuller's familiar, number 19. I'm not sure if this was actually Justin Hare's car, if somebody else was in it, because it looks like that one's a little bit worse for wear. Ryan Godown, Chad Phelps there in the X, checking under the hood with Billy Dunn, as something might be going on there. Familiar view from down in the front stretch, the iconic grandstand. Remember how the sound would echo around in there? Sometimes a little tough to hear, but man, we miss this place. There's the Dirt Divas. They were fixtures on the dirt circuit. Gary Tompkins fans, of course, back in 2006. Pro Stocks were always the first feature of the day, and they always put on a good show. Alan Johnson signing some autographs. There's Leslie Plank selling some Dale Plank swag as the Pro Stocks got ready to go. I'd always take a few photos as I was on my way up, and there's a car that didn't do quite so well at Syracuse. That was the reality of Syracuse. You didn't just wreck a car a little bit, you wrecked it a lot, unfortunately. Jeff Brownell Jr. was still racing back then. Pro Stocks on the track. And there's your winner coming across the scale right there, and probably the biggest win of his career. How you doing, Louis Jackson? Boy, he doesn't look like this today. If you see it, man, he's really taking care of himself. Looks great. Has really thinned down, and but this, I'm sure, a moment that he will remember for the rest of his life, being able to stand on the roof. That's Jack Spino right there in the white shirt. He coordinated Victory Lanes for Dirt way back in the Glenn Donnelly days. He's still active, of course, with the Hall of Fame and Classic Car Museum. There's Chelsea again. Nice to see you, Chelsea. She's married to Keith Flack now, by the way, in case you lost track. Louis Jackson. And there he is getting a chance to talk to Tim on the stage on, again, a beautiful day. Pete Stefanski was always fast there. Didn't win on this day, but and there's Joe Patrick right there from Gator Racing Photo News. And man, we missed that publication a lot right there. It was based right here out of Liverpool, too. Kenny Brightville, the tabloid graphics ride, one of the stars of the sport. Vic Coffey, a two-time 200 winner. Pat Ward. Pat, we wish you all the best in the future. He will not be with Gypsum next year, but boy, you talk about that photo right there. And of course, there's Tim Fuller and JR. Right there, the graphics man, very talented. I used to watch him hand paint race cars there in Weedsport. You talk about a talented guy. He really is. Jack Johnson, of course, an icon of the sport. Great representative, class all the way. We miss you. Ronnie Johnson, chip off the old block, always has time for the fans here. And imagine growing up with Jack Johnson as your father. And you guys remember this vehicle. They always brought this to Super Dirt Week every year to go wandering around the pit area. Nice to see that. And it was fun when they'd line them up. And it was nice that the sun was right where it was in that position. So we were able to get some shots. That's what it looked like from the back of the tower right there as you look into the grandstand at Syracuse. Not a real fun thing for me because I was never so high on heights. But once I got up there, just kind of a calm would come over me. And look at that infield. Look at all those people, all those campers. Man, there's nothing like Super Dirt Week when it was at Syracuse. Into the tower now, some of the officials up there. There's Shane Andrews. He was doing a lot of stuff with, it wasn't called Dirt Vision then, but they were doing something at that point. And he was a tech guy. And of course, what would Super Dirt Week be without Joe Murata? You've got to have a favorite out there. Joe, you're one of our favorites, buddy. Super Dirt Week getting ready to go. You can see them lining up. Couldn't take a lot of photos during the race for obvious reasons because you can see these are kind of blurry. The camera didn't really do a great job. But somebody having a little problem there. Some fire extinguishers needed. And there's Danny Johnson down in Victory Lane celebrating his win at Syracuse that year. So congratulations to Danny Johnson on the big win. Look at that tire. Look at that right rear tire. Not a heck of a lot of tread left on that one. There's the good folks from Hogansburg celebrating their Super Dirt Week win. Toby Tobias with Lenny Salmons. Always Randy outside. Man, I haven't talked to him in a while. I got to get a hold of him. Bobby Varon, happy after the race. And usually there's not many people that smile after this thing's done. But Danny Johnson, he had a smile ear to ear as he was the big winner in the 200. People heading back, I always like to wait a few minutes because you guys remember how tough it was to get out of there. It would take you 45 minutes to an hour to get out. So I learned early on, just hang out for a little bit, take a few extra photos of everything afterwards, and then head out the door after that. So that was Super Dirt Week 2006. I hope you liked it. Hit the PayPal, guys. We could really use it this week. We want to get on the road, but we just can't right now. So hit the blue E down in the corner. That'll subscribe you. And every time we're doing something cool, we got some cool stuff for you here today.